broadcasting from an undisclosed location under a farm pond somewhere in the Midwest. Your host is Jim Crowley. This is Slickfish Radio.
And no place I would rather be than with all of you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jim Crowley. I am your host, and this is Slickfish Radio. So glad you could join us tonight. Our guest is going to be Spencer Clark, guide and professional angler. Looking forward to talking to Spencer. He's there. Fishing is hot and going strong just about everywhere across the country right now. Here in the Midwest, we were just got done filming a couple shows up this weekend, and it was great. Fishing was great. Crappie fishing was awesome. The bass fishing turned out to be really, really good. So excited to be back out on the water, and we're going to talk to Spencer tonight about he guides on Table Rock as well as Taneycomo. Got a great reputation down there, and he's going to be talking about if you're interested in going fishing down there, he is definitely the guy to hook up with. And we're going to be talking about his guide service as well is how he's been combating a lot of conditions out there this year with a ton of rain and raising water and everything, and that always brings in different kind of circumstances that you're faced with. But we're looking forward to talking to him about that. And we want to first of all we want to welcome a brand new sponsor to Slickfish Radio. Excited to have these guys. I use their equipment on my boat, and that is Precision Sonar. In my opinion, the best made graph mounts on the planet, and they have so much more. Anything for your graphs. I'll give you an example. I have their mounts. I have Graph Glass, which is screen protector for that. I also have their grass straps, which when you put your covers on your locators, the straps actually hold them from blowing off. I don't know if you're like me, but I've had one blow off before. That's no fun. And so Precision Sonar has that. They also do a ton of custom work. So for any kind of boat that you have, they can fit that. They also are the #1 supplier of the leash. And any of you who run a high-powered engine out there, I am telling you, you should have the leash. If anything, it's like a seatbelt for your engine that really could save your life. It's already done so in the last couple of years. It's getting more and more popular. Phyllis Zaleski just joined us. Hi, Phyllis. How you doing? Glad to have you here tonight. And we're just going to be talking about a bunch of stuff from Precision Sonar, and we have a discount code for you from Precision Sonar as well. So all their products they have out there, the only place you can get that discount code is right here on Slickfish Radio. So we're looking forward, welcoming them. We also want to welcome, of course, our other sponsors and thank them for being here with us tonight. Lure Parts Online, all of these guys make the show possible. Our friends over at Caffeine, or at Casking, Wired to Fish Coffee. I've got a ton of caffeine. As usual, I am ready to go tonight. Also, our friends at Mudhole, where my Signature Series rod kits are doing well. We just put out another video for them this week. We got another one coming out next week. We're going to be working on some new stuff with them. I'm kind of excited about that. Our friends over at Fish 419, best sunglasses as far as I'm concerned on the planet. I've been wearing them for almost a decade. So many new styles and so many things. We've got a discount code for them as well. So we're just happy everybody's joining us here tonight. It's just great to be back fishing and talking fishing. And with that being said, I am going to bring on the guy who does this for a living and guides for a living. God bless his heart. Spencer, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Oh, you bet, man. Oh, looking forward to having you back on again. And you, I was just telling the audience out there that you've been dealing with crazy weather conditions just like we all have across the Midwest and down by you too. And what's been going on down by you? A lot of rain, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been getting quite a bit of rain the last couple of weeks, and this whole spring we've dealt with a lot of changing conditions and just a lot of different weather systems. Moving through the area. March was a challenging month. We dealt with a lot of wind. As far as getting out there on the lake, we had some days where we had some real windy days to deal with. We'd get several warm days, and then we'd get a real big cold front. Some cooler nights, which that happens a lot in the spring, but this year was particularly difficult. This March we've had, And then the last couple of weeks here, we've had the lake come up, and then we've had to get drawn back down, and it comes up again. And anytime the lake fluctuates like that, as the water temperatures get around the time and the time of the year that the bass are wanting to do their thing and get up and spawn, that can really affect how great the fishing is, just because the bass don't know if they're coming and going. So so it's been a wild and crazy spring. We've been catching a lot of fish, but it's been I would say the fishing's been a little bit slower, the last couple months than it normally is, just because of all the changing conditions. It's been a little bit tougher. The fish been moving a lot more. Um, their personality day to day has been quite the challenge to keep up with this year. But like I said, we've been catching a lot of fish. But man, it's been a wild spring.
Yeah, and I would, when you said their personalities change, I'm like, yeah, so far this year, I think they're kind of cranky, just a little bit, and
Yeah.
with all the changing weather conditions you had, we were just talking just before the show went on that we just went through a major cold front where I was this weekend, and you have to change. We literally had to change not just day by day, but almost every hour. That front just kept swirling over us and staying there, and the fish were doing just funky things. They'd be on for a bit, then they'd be off, and it was just crazy. And before we get into a little bit more about what the fish are talking or doing, let's talk a little bit about, in case people are joining us for the first time or hearing about you for the first time, tell them about Breaking Bad Bass Guide Service, which I love, by the way, and I have to order a sweatshirt from you because I absolutely love that logo. I told you that the last time you were on the show. Absolutely love that thing. But tell them how you got started. You were into college fishing and all that, but tell them a little bit about how and when you started Breaking Bass Guide Service.
Yes, I think I'm going on my fifth year being a professional guide down here at Table Rock Lake, and prior to becoming a fishing guide, I used to be strictly a tournament fisherman. Used to fish a lot of tournaments, and kind of went around the Midwest here fishing a lot of different tournaments. Had some pretty good success doing it, and then in 20, I think it was 2021, started my guide service down here at Table Rock Lake, and we've been pretty much focused on bass and trout for the most part. And over the years, my guide service, we've gotten more clients. We've built the business up to where doing this full time now. This is all that I do. And met a lot of great people, taken a lot of great people fishing, and it has truly been blessed to be able to do this for a living.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's pretty interesting that because just because you bass fish, you guide for other things too. You're doing walleyes, I think you do crappies too. You do trout over on Tammy So there's a lot of rods and reels. There's a lot of stuff you got to keep going. If people are coming down to you now before they get there for the summer, what has been like the hot bite, or what are a lot of people wanting to come and fish with you for?
So the last couple of weeks, the smallmouth have really been the bite down here at Table Rock. These smallmouth, they've gotten up, they've done their thing, they've spawned. A lot of the fish are post spawn right now, but they've been, still fairly shallow for Table Rock Lake. Table Rock Lake, deep Highland Reservoir.
Hmm.
The fish, they don't like to live on the bank here very long. A lot of times, they're more deep water natured than a shallow fisher at Table Rock. But the last couple weeks, we've been fishing with Ned rigs and tubes and different types of shaky head baits and catching a lot of smallmouth. That's been really the hot bite the last couple weeks here.
And you said that not a lot of fish stay on the bank, and just to clarify for people, that's a pretty clear lake. And
Oh,
so, yeah, I'm guessing that a lot of your equipment is spinning rods and lighter line. What are your setups for when your clients come with you, or when you're just going out fishing?
yeah, so this time of the year, we do get to have a little bit more fun. Throw in some of the bigger baits, like your spinner baits, your crank baits. This is going to last for about a month or so, other than night fishing. But primarily, once we get into the summer months, we do a lot of finesse fishing here at Table Rock. We've got real clear water. We're fishing usually 30, 50 foot deep for the most part. And so, downsizing, going to a lighter line allows you to get a bait and present it a little bit more natural at those depths. But these table rock fish, they have a mind of their own. I'm not saying that you can't go out and do whatever you want to do, but that's just kind of the personality of these fish most of the time. Most of the time, it takes a little finesse in order to succeed down here at Table Rock. But the same thing can be said. I mean, I might be out there in the middle of summertime throwing a big flutter spoon
Hmm.
and jerking that over the top of trees. It's just kind of day to day, but overall, it's a finesse fishing lake, deep fishing lake. So
So a lot of it, are you throwing a lot of 6 and 8 pound test line though in most cases for these fish?
a lot of times we'll use 8 pound line, not because it's any better than using six. You'll get a lot more bites when you downsize a 6 pound line.
Hmm.
The only problem you'll run into a lot of times when you go down the six is you have a hard time pulling these fish out of trees. A lot of the bass at Table Rock, they like to get around these cedar trees. The spotted bass, they really love to live on a cedar tree all summer long. And you just have a lot more success when you just go up to that 8 pound, a lot of times over the six. You'll get way more bites though with the six. So, if you're up for a challenge, if you downsize, there's some guys will throw 4 pound line,
Oh, geez.
and I don't know, but we get a lot of walleye that mix in with the bass all summer, and I mean, kind of like the worst nightmares. You get about a 30-inch walleye hooked up on 6 pound test. That can be a real challenge. So most of the time we're using eight.
Yeah, and so when you're taking clients out now, you said, the smallmouth are doing pretty good. Is it pretty easy for you to take out more than 1 or 2 people? So, because I know you like teaching kids to fish. So, do you look forward to that when a parent can bring a young child or two, or kind of what's the age range for that you feel comfortable with?
Oh shoot, I've taken kids out to where it might be their first fishing trip.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we just kind of adjust, like the expectations of the trip based on, how skilled, an angler might be. But I've had several trips, the last couple weeks. For one, a crankbait, most of the time, when they get bit on that thing, the fish, they hook themselves.
Sure.
And so that's something that, everybody can do. Everybody, for the most part, can throw a bait out and reel it in and catch fish doing that. And the spinner bait's kind of the same thing. Spinner bait is a great bait for a fishing guide to use because it stays a little bit off the bottom, more in that upper water level. So you don't really have to worry about people getting that hung up too much or getting snagged up with it. And, regardless of what anybody will tell you, the fish still really love spinner baits. There's something in a bass's DNA, their lateral line, that when those blades are twirling over their head, there's a lot of days that they just can't, resist coming up and hitting a spinner bait. So that works really good a lot of days. So
Now, when you're throwing spinner baits out there, are you throwing a lot of double willow leaves and more like a more natural type skirt with them? Or what is one of your favorite combinations to throw in that really clear water?
Well, Jim, I've actually got one of the spinner baits that we've been having a whole lot of success on right here, just
Great.
handy. So this one here is an E Factor lure spinner bait. This is a 3/8 ounce spinner bait. This is
Mhm.
this has been a real good size to throw on Table Rock this spring. And this is, I believe, this color is called purple shad, but it's like a Table Rock shad color.
Yep.
There's a lot of purple in the skirt, a little bit of chartreuse. The bass really like chartreuse on Table Rock, despite how clear the water is.
Hmm.
A lot of people think, you come to Table Rock, you're going to throw something real translucent, real natural. That can be the case a lot of times, but it would really surprise you how bright the lures you'll catch fish on down here are. But the one thing about this spinner bait, throwing these double, willow leaf blades on it, we have a lot of small shad in Table Rock. So these smaller, willow leaf blades really match, the profile of the bait fish down here.
Hmm.
And so we've been catching a lot of fish on that spinner bait.
That's cool. Now, you were mentioning crankbaits too. What are some of the crankbait colors that you guys like throwing down there?
So one of my particular sponsors is Arky Lures,
Hmm.
and one of the crankbaits that I really like to use a lot on a day in and day out basis is this Arky 350 series crankbait. So I've got
Ah,
this one handy here too. One of my favorite colors in this crankbait is the Ghost Crawl color.
cool.
This is the Phantom Green color. This is like a green crankbait with a little chartreuse in the belly.
Nice.
This works really good as well down here at Table Rock. What happens here at Table Rock throughout different times of the years, we get a lot of green sunfish or bluegill that come up on the bank and they'll spawn. And we'll get that, early in the springtime, as the bass are up there, and throw in that little small, 350 crankbait in that ghost crawl color really mimics, those green sunfish, those pumpkin seed that are coming up to the bank to do their thing, and that's when you can really catch the fish on that bait. But it's won me a whole bunch of money. But it's one that the bass, at Table Rock really like this crankbait. I've got another friend that lives in Alabama that throws it all the time, and he catches a lot of fish on as well. So it will work pretty much anywhere. You've got a lake where you can catch a lot of fish on a crankbait. Just an awesome bait.
No, that's really cool. We're gonna get ready to take a break here, and when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the plastics that you're throwing. I know you and I have talked about scent before. Get into some of that, and then actually talk to some people, or tell the people out there what they can expect for summertime fishing, because you got that coming up right around the corner. So we want to fill them in and see if anybody wants to be interested in coming to fish with you in the summertime. Tell them what they can expect. So as usual, we will be back with Spencer Clark in 2 and 2.
At Lure Parts Online, we have everything you need to make your own lures, tie your own flies, pour soft plastics, and more. Easy ordering ensures you get your products quickly. You can build all you need to create your own angling success at Lure Parts Online. At Precision Sonar, innovation never takes a break. Their patented smart bracket mounting system features a precise fit and finish that eliminates vibration. They also feature products like the Leash, Graph Glass, Ninja Grass Blade, Sea Clear Power, Precision Graph Locks, and their incredible line of precision powered lithium batteries, all backed by exceptional customer service. PrecisionSonar.com. KastKing, fueled by innovation through novel concepts and ingenious designs, markets directly to consumers with unprecedented cost-effective e-commerce practices, cutting costs by 30% more on average. KastKing empowers anglers of all skill levels to achieve things never thought possible. Find out more at KastKing.com. Independent, family-owned, and built on biblical principles, Fish 419 is dedicated to its customers. We believe that outdoor activities, including fishing, bring family and friends together. We provide quality products at realistic prices with superior customer service. Check out our trending styles now at fish419.com. Mudhole is your #1 source for custom fishing rods. Mudhole is the world's largest supplier of rod building supplies, information, education, and instruction. The best components and brands you trust, including MHX, CRB, American Tackle, Pro Products, Fuji, AFCO, and more. It's easy to build your own fishing rods at mudhole.com. With 25% of net profits donated to faith-based and clean water initiatives, Wire to Fish Coffee was founded by folks who love Jesus, a good day of fishing, and great coffee. With every bag of Wire to Fish coffee, you support clean water, the sport of fishing, and helping others with a better quality of life. Find out more, wiretofishcoffee.com. Hi, this is Jim Crowley. Make sure to catch my other show, Jim Crowley Outdoors, where we travel across North America pursuing anything that swims. We always detail our equipment and techniques and more, all in the pursuit of helping you to become a better angler. Jim Crowley Outdoors can be seen on Wire to Fish TV Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sling, Flex, Sports Tribal, Bistro TV, Local Now, and more streaming stations.
Hey, and we are back with Spencer Clark, and we want to talk a little bit more on him and some of the baits that he's using. And you were talking more about that Ned rig and things like that. So what are some of the other plastics that you use this time of year?
So the last couple of weeks, with these smallmouth, doing their thing and being, the prevalent, the prevalent bite right now, been taking this Bait Cave Custom sabertail worm, sabertail grub, which this bait was one that was released earlier this year at the Let's Go Fishing Show in Collinsville, Illinois. This bait was originally designed to be a great spinnerbait, chatterbait trailer
Hmm.
to go on that spinnerbait that I was mentioning, and it's been really good for that. But what I've been doing is actually turning this into a Ned style bait to catch a lot of fish on the last couple of weeks. So this is what the grub looks like just out of the package. But if you just pinch the tail off like that, you get a nice
Sure.
smaller Ned style bait. And the great thing about all the bait cave plastics is they float. So this little bait, you got to really just see the action of this thing in the water, because that plastic is so buoyant. It really has a lot of action when you put it on a jig head. But they've been slamming this little thing, and I had a client. The other day that caught about a 12-pound channel cat on this bait as well. So just about everything that swims been gobbling this thing up. So that's been working really good. And maybe like one of the only other modifications I might make to this is put a little chartreuse in it. I'll tell you guys, anything with a little chartreuse really works great at Table Rock. So that's one of the baits that we've been using here. Um,
No, that's good. I was going to get ready to ask you about topwater as well. One of the questions I had is you guys get spotted bass down there, and we just don't have a lot of those up by us. So, what are the spotted bass like getting ready to do, and how big are some of the ones you catch down there? Because I may be coming down there because I just want to catch some spotted bass sometime. What would be the best time of year to do that?
The best time of the year, in my opinion, to target some of the biggest spotted bass in the lake is coming up. Anywhere from June through August is when these spotted bass, they move out to say their favorite tree, or they might move out to their favorite brush pile, and sometimes there might be 20 or 30 spotted bass on one tree, and we just have a ball, catching these things. But these spotted bass, a lot of times, when people think of a spotted bass, they think of a fish that, lives out deeper. That's kind of what people think about. But earlier this year, we caught a lot of spotted bass flipping to the bank,
Oh,
up under trash piles.
yeah.
With all the flooding we've been having the last couple of weeks, one of the patterns was, running around and fishing like the sawdust piles, that from all the sawdust that had kind of blown into the lake.
Really? Okay.
And typically, you think if you go up a river and you spend your day flipping a beaver or some kind of a bait like that, you're going to catch primarily largemouth.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't believe the amount of spotted bass that we were catching doing that earlier this spring. So these table rock spotted bass, they got a personality of their own, but they are definitely hardy fish. I mean, you're talking about a 16, 17-inch spotted bass, and they're about that big around. When they get
Gee.
to feeding on the shad, I mean, they go to the full buffet line, and they really put on some weight. But summer is a great time to come down here if you want to catch a lot of big spots.
Now, how big is big down there, like weight wise? Like 3 pounds?
Yeah, we catch a lot of spotted bass that are about 3 pounds or just a little bit over that.
That's
It's
nice.
it's not uncommon, in the summertime to go out on a guided fishing trip and have 6 or 7 spotted bass that are almost 18 inches long.
Holy cow, that's
So
fun.
yeah, so we've got, a lot of big spotted bass. Your typical fish is, 14 and a half to about 16 inches long, shaped like
Mhm.
a football. But there's times where, you'll be on the right point at the right time, and there'll be a whole school of, 17, 18-inch Kentuckies that pull up on that point. And it's incredible when that happens. And it's happened a lot. So it's awesome.
Now, I'm guessing topwaters can be a great way to catch them, but what are some other baits that you're throwing that time in the summer for those spots?
You can never go wrong with throwing a minnow bait year round on Table Rock Lake. That bite pretty much never stops. A lot of guys like to do that with live scope.
Mhm.
A drop shot worm works really good on those fish that are around the trees. We do a lot of drop shotting. Top water is another great way to catch spotted bass because pretty much all summer long there'll be a top water bite. And occasionally, once these fish, kind of find the shad, they'll start pushing them to the surface, and we have several areas on the lake where these spotted bass will almost school daily. And one bait that's not talked about a whole lot that also works is just a white fluke.
Really? Okay, cool. Yeah.
So a lot of guys, they find a lot of success, throwing at these fish that are blowing up using like the donkey rig, the double fluke rig.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've heard about that. That's a
Yep.
great way to, sometimes catch two spotted bass at a time. But you can't go wrong throwing a pop R either. That's one of
Really?
my
That's
favorite
cool.
baits to throw is a pop R. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I didn't know. I figured it would be some walking baits too, but yeah, a pop are just like it's a another great, just like a skitter pop from Rapala. Either one of those, it's just a great smallmouth bait, but it's a good spotted bass bait as well, huh?
Well, the thing that is, special or unique to Table Rock, like I said, we got a lot of smaller shad that are in this lake. So a lot of times, if you keep that profile, within 2 or 3 inches long, that's predominantly what the fish, feed on here at Table Rock Lake, and your smaller minnow baits, your smaller, shorter top waters like that, even your spinner baits, your more compact spinner baits is what you'll catch a lot of numbers of fish on. Those are the baits that work, day in and day out the best down here at Table Rock. So the scent I'm using these days, guys, is Strike Force Fish Attractant. They've got several different scents that are available. Primarily, what I'm using is the bass and the cappuccino formula. These are probably my two favorite scents that they've come out with. Been having a lot of success, using these on Table Rock Lake. There was another company that at one time had a coffee scent on all their baits,
Yeah,
and that's been really hard to track down. So Strike Force, they've come out with this cappuccino, and this has been working really good on like tubes and a lot of our different baits. It's a very powerful scent. Like when you put it on your baits, what I like to do when I'm adding this scent is I'll take it and I'll put it in my bags of plastic and let that marinate
sure.
overnight. Let it kind of really get into the bait. You can also apply it while you're out on the water. Um, but I think anytime that you can take something and make it smell more like the real thing, you're going to get a whole lot more bites. And we've proven this. With the numbers of fish that we're catching, a whole lot more fish because we're using the scent on our baits
Yep.
than we were before. And you can take just a plastic worm that doesn't have scent, fish it up against one that does, and usually the person that's using that scented bait will outfish that person that isn't using one, like 4 or 5 or 6 to 1. And that goes the same for even using live bait. I've done studies on my guide trips where I've had one person, drop a plastic worm compared to one person dropping a night crawler, and they can really tell the difference between the two. So anytime you can add scent, I mean, I think you're going to have a lot more success.
Yeah, and I've always thought, and I've seen it ice fishing too. The colder the water is, I think a lot of times the more important the scent can be, um, especially because it does. I mean, I've seen years ago. I got to go to the Berkeley factory and watch, and watch when they were developing Gulp, and that was one of the most educational days that I've ever spent in the fishing industry, is watching how these fish really react and how much longer they will hold, certain baits that, and just like I'm sure that scent does too, it's got amino acids in it, whatever, how much more of those, and whatever those scientists who do that stuff understand that those fish will literally hold on to a bait. And you and I much longer, and you and I were talking about this today, the bite that we encountered yesterday and today was that the fish, when they were to grab a bait, all you noticed was your line get tight. They wouldn't move with it. It's like they came up to it, they sucked it in, and they sat on it. And all of a sudden you'd pull up and the line was tight. And all of a sudden you just feel that little bit of motion. They weren't really hardly swimming with it. They were literally just crunching down on the bait. And I mean, I've seen it in tanks where it didn't have scent and spit it out. Now, yeah, I know sometimes we're under a bite, they'll inhale anything, but when it's tough, I don't think anything like that can hurt. And in some cases, I've seen where I really thinks it helps. And if it adds something to your plastic, whether it be the feel, whatever the fish thinks it is, who cares? If they hold on to it longer and it gives us another opportunity to set the hook, I'm all for it. It's cool. I think it's really cool. And I know you've seen it when you apply when you don't do it, and then when you do it and you notice they hold on to it longer, you're like, hey, this stuff really works.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely works, and it's definitely something that you guys need to try if you've never used scents on any of your baits. Definitely give it a try. You'll get a lot more bites using it. Another scent that they've got that I use a lot is it's the crappie formula, and I don't do as much crappie fishing, but I do a lot of guiding for trout. And the crappie scent works really good on the trout because it's actually a garlic shrimp formula.
Hmm.
So if you ever done any bit of trout fishing, you know the trout they really like to eat shrimp. So when you got a garlic shrimp scent and you start putting that on your baits, the trout they really like that. So that's another scent that I use, day to day. On our fishing trips, I'll use the crappie formula on my trout trips. One thing you got to watch out for though, if you got a girlfriend, is applying this cappuccino scent because I don't know, my girlfriend, she was kind of giving me some trouble because I smelled like, maybe I'd been seeing somebody at the Starbucks bar or something. So that's so just be careful if you get to using the cappuccino scent a lot. You'll start smelling like you went to Starbucks instead of you went fishing.
There's a good
So
safety tip. I'll keep that in mind, buddy. I'll keep that in mind. Hey, when you're fishing for now, you got summertime fishing coming up. So, are you fishing for trout in the summertime too, or where do you? What are most of your trips centered around if people want to come fishing with you in the summertime?
yeah, we actually do trout trips all summer long, and summer is a really good time to book a trout fishing trip. It doesn't matter how hot the weather gets in the summertime. Every morning on Lake Taneycomo, it's like you're out in an air conditioned environment, just because the cool water cools that air down there on the lake, and they're always running water in the summertime.
Hmm.
Because they use that to create electricity or whatever they're doing. So the current's always running, the fish are always biting. Excellent time to come to Branson and try to catch a lot of trout. Now, as far as the bass fishing goes, over on Table Rock, a typical trip you're looking at catching anywhere from 20 to 30 fish in a 4-hour trip. And
Wow.
primarily, what we're catching those big, spotted bass. We do a lot of vertical fishing because the fish they really get predictable. They get to their summertime hangouts. So it's just like clockwork over there. Those fish they'll be on the certain drops or certain trees that we've kind of learned over time, and you'll catch anywhere from 20 to 30 bass a trip. Usually catch a couple good sized walleye too, because in the summertime all the big predatory fish sort of hang out together
Hmm.
because that's where the food source is, and that's
Sure.
where the current hits those areas just right. The cover's there, the bait's there. You'll catch big catfish, walleye, these big spotted bass. Everything really starts to kind of mix in during that time of the year, which makes it a really fun time to be a fishing guide because there's a lot of fish grouped up in these key areas. You don't have to do as much hunting around that you do like when you're guiding in the springtime where the fish are always moving. And when you go out with a group of kids, somebody brings their kids out for a day of fishing, and they're pulling up a 25-inch walleye. Then
Nice.
the next cast they're pulling up, a giant channel catfish or a big flathead, and then they're doubled up on a couple big spotted bass. It's fast and furious, and it is a whole lot of fun. And we're using 6 to 8 pound tests and drop shot most of the time, and I mean it. People, unless they've done this style of fishing, I mean, they cannot imagine how crazy it can get. There's been times when I've had 4 people on the boat and all of them have their rods bent with a fish on it because that's how concentrated these fish get. So, it's a time of the year that, despite the hot weather, the fishing is even better here at Table Rock. And it's a time of the year that I always look forward to just because you got a lot of new clients, new people visiting Branson. Branson's one of the top tourist
Oh yeah.
destinations in the country. Over 9 million people come to Branson every year.
Jeez.
And we get a lot of people that they're down in Branson checking out the area for the first time. They're here with family. They might have a day or two to get out on the lake, do some fishing. And so what I really strive to do is create that experience when they go fishing with me to have just an absolute blast on the water and create memories with these people.
And that
because
that
that's
and that that's awesome. And I know you're like me, you're a Cast King fan, so your boat is just loaded with Cast King rods and reels, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. The other day I was counting my setups, and I had, I think, a little over 40 rods and reels ready to go. So we've got a lot of, and it really takes that much tackle in order to do
Sure.
this, just because when you're fishing every day, one day just kind of runs into the next. And I flip flop between bass and trout a lot of times. So I'll have 10, 15 setups rigged up for trout fishing, and I'll have 10 or 15 rigged up for bass fishing. And it makes it easy when you got that many setups just to kind of go back and forth. But the Cast King stuff, that tackle has come a really long way.
Oh yeah.
I've been using it now for I think I'm going on almost 6 or 7 years fishing, exclusively Cast King gear, and very durable, priced right. Um, just great overall tackle.
Agreed. Yep.
Getting this into people's hands, and they've been having a blast using it.
No, that's awesome. So if and thanks for joining us tonight, man. I really appreciate it. Why don't you tell people exactly how they can get a hold of you, where they can find you on social media, and what's the best way to book a trip with you?
So I have a Facebook page where I'll post all my daily fishing trips. It's just called Spencer Clark Fishing. You can find me on Facebook. If you're interested in, coming to Table Rock Lake, or what we're doing as far as what fish are biting, or what's exactly going on, that's a great place to follow along. If you guys want to book a guided fishing trip, the best way to do that is just go to my page, Breaking Bass Guide Service.com. I've got all my trips available on there. Everything that I offer as a fishing guide here in Branson, Missouri. All you got to do is go on there, select the trip, select the date that you'd like to go on a trip, uh, book that trip. All your information will get sent to me, and I'm usually in touch with you in less than 12 or 24 hours. And we'll go over, exactly what to expect, where to meet me, and we'll plan on having a really good day out on the lake.
I don't know how you can beat that. That sounds pretty good to me, buddy. I sure appreciate you joining us tonight, and thanks for all the great info. Continued success, and I'm sure I'll run into you at a sports show. By the way, are you going to ICAST this year or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to ICAST. That's one of my big plans this summer, is
Good.
to take a little break from guiding, and make it to ICAST. I've never been to ICAST, so I'm really looking
Oh,
forward
you
to
have
doing
fun.
that.
Yeah.
I know Cast King's gonna be there, and
Yep.
I believe Bait Cave Customs is gonna be there as
Yep.
well. So,
Yeah,
so
they had a great booth. What I saw last year, and Casking always has a great booth there. So I'm sure I'll run into you when we're there. It's just such a fun event. I think you're really going to enjoy yourself. It's a blast.
yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it, and I just want to thank you for having me on the show
Oh, sure.
again. Uh, been a blast every time I've been on the show talking with you. Look forward to seeing you probably at ICAST.
Yep, you betcha, man. Hey, God bless you. Continued success, and keep posting those pictures. I like seeing those big fish, man.
Thank you, man. Have a
Okay.
good one. We'll
You
catch
too.
you
See you
later.
later. So, hey, we got some great discount codes to give you tonight, including that one from Precision Sonar. And I do want to mention the fact that we are going to be running Precision Sonar batteries now as well, and that's Precision Power. And I'm going to do a video once we get those batteries in the boat and everything. I'm really looking forward to those. They've had almost like no issues with those batteries at all. Customer satisfaction has gone through the roof for Precision Sonar. If you just look up Precision Sonar and you look at their customer reviews, they're astonishing. All those guys, they're fish, they all know what they're talking about. Their customer service is fantastic. If you've got a question, check out Precision Sonar. We'll give you a discount code just in a little bit for them, but they have everything from batteries to everything for your graph, all that kind of good stuff that you need to make your fishing experience even more enjoyable. I count on Precision Sonar. I know you can too. We're going to start off here with our code from Lure Parts Online, and there's your discount code, 10% off when you order. You can use the code JC Outdoors 10, and you will get 10% off your order. Please follow us on social media, especially Facebook as well as TikTok. We're posting videos every week. There's so many new products we're coming out with our Bass Academy lineup, and there's some really exciting ones this week. I think today I released a video on a new bait called the Gilly D, just a really cool bluegill imitating plastic that is going to be absolutely killer on a free rig, on a drop shot, on a Carolina rig. I've even Texas rigged it. You're going to love it. And the really cool thing, especially if you're going down to Table Rock. I should ask Spencer Clark about this, but dice baits have become really popular. Well, now Lure Parts is going to be offering their own dice baits, and I'm going to show you how to make your own with what we have. We watch for that video this coming Friday, and you can see it on the Lure Parts Online Facebook and TikTok page. You're going to be really surprised how easy it is to make these dice. Plus, we give you a really cool little rigging tip for them. For smallmouth, for spotted bass, I am telling you, these dice baits, and even for big crappies, we're going to show you how to make them. We're going to show you how to rig them. So make sure you go to Lure Parts Online, put in that code JC Outdoors 10. Also, when you follow us on TikTok or Facebook, we have additional discount codes there for you. So the more you follow us, the more money you are going to save. Now, our friends from KastKing, I have a brand new discount code for you this year from KastKing. Okay, this is a 10% off code. This is a new code. So start putting in this code, anything you want from KastKing. This is a code that you can put in, JCKKAF10. That's JCKKAF10. You get 10% off every order. As usual, KastKing just keeps coming out with great, great products. Filmed a couple great shows this weekend with the Speed Demon Elite Spinning Reel, also with the Speed Demon bait cast reel and the shallow spool, which was a skipping spool, as well as a deep spool. We're going to go over all that on a new show that I got coming out. Tons of great stuff from KastKing, just like Spencer said, just quality, quality products. And I'm telling you, you can depend on KastKing for putting great stuff out there and helping you catch more fish. Our friends over at Fish 419, okay, there's a 15% off code there for you. So any sunglasses that you're in the market for. Now, ladies, I'm telling you, they've got awesome lady styles as well there. All kinds of new trending styles and some, in my opinion, the best polycarbonate lenses on the market today. And they won't break the bank. The average pair of glasses from Fish 419 is $39 to $49. They come with their own hard case and cleaning cloth and killer customer service. Go to fish419.com. Our friends over at Wired to Fish Coffee, you know, the show always ends up just when I'm finishing my caffeine. Perfect timing. Go to Wired to Fish Coffee right now. Only coffee company I know out there that supports our sport of fishing and faith-based initiatives. Go to Wired to Fish Coffee. Their medium and dark roast are phenomenal. Check them out. Put in the code SlickFish over at wiredtofishcoffee.com and you will get 15% off. Now, all that great stuff I was telling you from Precision Sonar, this is the only place to get a discount code from Precision Sonar. So for their brand new batteries, which is Precision Power, which are phenomenal, we're gonna go over, like I said, a really cool video once all the install is done, because I'm going to have some great tips to pass on for you and how much more reliable power you are going to have with these lithium batteries. Go to precisionsonar.com. Also, one of the products I'm truly, truly impressed with is their graph locks. Okay, a lot of graph locks out there are made of plastic. These are made of all aluminum. Once you put these things on, it is amazing how easy they lock. One key unlocks everything, but they fit awesomely to your graph. They're in the same as a logo. That is the shape of those locks, so you can move them around on there to fit how you mount your graphs, and they lock them. These are aluminum. They are really, really built well. You know what? We put a lot of money into our graphs, and I don't think anybody has more precision products for glass, including custom mounts, their graph glass, their graph straps to hold your covers on, anything and everything you can think. There are mounts for forward-facing sonar for your 360. Check out precisionsonar.com. There are so many products here. I can't possibly list them all, but their customer service is phenomenal. People who fish design these products and build them for guys for continuous use that will last you a long time. PrecisionSonar.com. I'm so proud they came on the show. I love working with these guys. They're phenomenal company, just like all the people that we are so fortunate to work with. Check out Precision Sonar. There's your 10% off code right there, PSJC10. So thankful for all of you that joined us tonight. And also, where the rest of you are going to see us, if you don't catch us on Facebook, you're easily going to be able to find us on Wired to Fish TV. Slickfish Radio is on Wired to Fish TV 5 days a week. We're also on, and that's 11 channels that you can see us there. You can also see us. We have Slickfish Radio channels on Roku, on Fire TV, on Amazon Music, on iTunes, and Spotify. There's a whole bunch of places to see it. We sure appreciate all of you joining us. As we always do, we got another episode coming up in a couple of weeks and some more great guests. Again, thanks to Spencer Clark for joining us tonight. I hope you all have a great rest of the week because you sure made mine tonight. God bless you. We'll see you soon.